Good evening, everyone. My name is Hainisha Malone. I am the Vice President of the West Garfield Park Youth Council, and we believe that we are the solution to the issues in our community. Our theme is Nothing With Us Without Us. The West Garfield Park Youth Council is sponsored by Fathers Who Care, which is a nonprofit organization located on the west side of Chicago within the West Garfield Park community. Again, everyone, my name is Hainisha Malone, and I am the Vice President of the West Garfield Park Youth Council. The West Garfield Park Youth Council is comprised of young people in our community whose focus and concern is youth leadership and a voice within the community to reduce senseless violence and illegal substance use. We invite people from all over, especially young people, to come in and see what we are all about. Our show will be scheduled every Thursday at 7 p.m. Again, that is Thursday at 7 p.m. The thirds got me. We would like to encourage call for people watching to call in with their questions and comments at 312-738-1060. Again, that number is 312-738-1060. Our show can also be viewed online at www.cantv.org/live. Again, that website is www.cantv.org/live. I would like to introduce my guest for today. This is Janisa Hicks, and she is the program director at Fathers Who Care. Thank you for coming. Oh, I'm so sorry. My head was just itching. Again, everyone, my name is Hainisha Malone, and I am the Vice President of the West Garfield Park Youth Council. You are watching a live, interactive call-in television network brought to you by CanTV 21. During the next 25 minutes, we are going to discuss youth and the community for social change. We invite our viewers watching to call in with their questions and comments at 312-738-1060. Again, that number is 312-738-1060. Our phone lines are now open. So today's topic again is youth and the community for social change. And now I have a couple questions for you. The first question is, who are you and what is your purpose for existing?
Well, first off, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. So once again, my name is Janisa Hicks. I am the program director at Fathers Who Care. What is my purpose? What a good question. So a lot of a lot of young adults my age, I'm still trying to figure out my full purpose, my full potential. But right now, I am really dedicated to giving back to my community and really improving things in West Garfield Park.
Mm-hmm. So, what is social change?
Well, for me, social change is changes in human interactions and relationships that transform culture and social institutions. Mm-hmm. But I mean, what is social change to you?
Social change to me is a community of people who all have the same goal to make their community better in like certain areas, because some areas they could be their strong suit, but they all focus on ways to make their community better. Like they see better, but they're like, okay, we can make this even better.
Right.
So I feel like social change is just wanting to make your community a place where like you have to be here, you have to live here, you have to sleep here. Mm-hmm. You wake up in the morning and this is the first thing that you walk out of your house to see. So we want to make it as best we can. We want to make it the best that it can be. So I feel like that's what social change is, just trying to make it better for people, trying to give them a better environment to be in. Because even with all the chaos going on throughout the world, at least you have your community to depend on. And you can go somewhere where okay, I can go here and I have a program to go to. I can go play basketball, or I can go do drama, or I can go to this writing class that I have, or I could just go and talk to somebody in my neighborhood who I know I can trust, because we all built a bond to try to get to know each other instead of being so standoffish and feeling uncomfortable where you live,
Right, absolutely. And I love hearing the perspective of social change from, a young adult like you.
Thank you. You too. So what are some things we can do to create positive social change in our community?
I mean, there are just so many ways to, create positive social change. The best way is to do kind of like what you're doing right now, trying to really get involved with the community and really, get the young adults, the youth talking. Mm-hmm. You can volunteer with different nonprofits. You can just Also, even just random acts of kindness, just like holding doors open for someone and just simply smiling. You know, a lot of times when you're walking down the street, you know, you see a lot of, you know, unhappy faces, and just smiling at someone can definitely change their day and change their attitude and how they interact with other people in the community. Also, I think one of the most important ways to create positive change in the community is to vote, okay? Right now, I don't think a lot of young adults are voting as often as they need to be, and voting is one of the best ways to create social change, especially voting for your aldermen and knowing who your judges are as well.
Yeah, I agree. At school we had Corey Johnson come to our school. He's running for alderman in the 29th ward. I think he's like 26. He's like really young, and he running. And he wanted to come to the school to tell us, like, even though we're not able to vote, he wanted us to see, like, okay, like, these are the type of people who you want to, like, be in control of, like, what your community is gonna look like. Like, that's why it's so important to vote, because you could vote for somebody just because of their social status, because you see, oh, this person has a lot of people behind him. He has a lot of money behind him, so he could promote himself better than I can, even though my intentions on the community is way better than he is. So because of his social status, people move on to him because they're just like, okay, we're just gonna stick to what we know. We just gonna vote for him instead of voting for somebody because of, like, their genuine intentions for wanting to do better for the community. And I really feel like that's what Corey is trying to do. And I'm glad that he's running and he's trying to be, like, a new face for the community and trying to actually help the 29th ward. And, like, it's just the stuff that he has going on. Like, he's trying to create like a street, like, full of Black-owned businesses and stuff like that.
I didn't know that. That's very nice. I think we already have
one, but he said he's trying to improve it.
Right.
Like, it's a lot of good stuff that he's trying to do, and I feel like people need to vote for people like that, because it's like, okay, we know what he want to do. He's letting us know what he want to do, and then he's genuine about it. He's going at doorsteps asking for signatures, you know, just being genuine, trying to interact with the people who he's going to be working with and going to be in control of, like, handling, like, business and all of that other stuff. So I feel like voting is super important. And like you said, the first thing you said with
getting involved in the community,
like
volunteering.
Volunteering. Like, volunteering plays a huge part, and it's not always about the money, because it's what's going behind what you're doing. And I feel like everybody got so tied up in, like, money, that it's like nothing is genuine anymore. Nobody actually does hard work because they want to do hard work. They do it because, like, okay, I'm going to get paid anyway, so I'm just going to do it. So, like, a lot of stuff isn't genuine anymore. So I feel like we do need to start volunteering and going out and trying to advocate for our community so that we can have better opportunities for the youth.
Right, and you have some really great points with that. You're right. There's not a lot of heart behind what a lot of people are doing nowadays. And sometimes when you're lacking that heart and that drive to make positive changes, when you're lacking that, you don't make positive changes, right? So you're right about that. And I didn't know that young man, Corey, I didn't know he was running for alderman, and that's really good to know. And he's right, people do tend to look at, these politicians with the big campaign dollars and the ones that you've seen so many times on commercials, especially now during election season, where that it's easy to bypass the individuals that are running for office that maybe don't have that huge campaign funds, but they may be the ones that better suited for the position.
Right.
So it's really important to just not go off of what you see on TV, not go off of what you see online, but to do your own research about the best candidate that you think that will make the most positive change in the community.
Yes, I agree. So how does youth and social change relate to each other?
That's a great question. The youth, you guys are our future, right? It's at some point we're gonna pass the baton to you guys to make sure that you guys are upkeeping the community and making sure that continues to stay positive.
Right.
And so getting the youth involved in social change is extremely important to really create positive impacts for generations to come.
Exactly. I agree. because I thought that they related because, you know, youth and social change is like up and coming kinda, you know?
Yeah.
So like social change is like the only reason why the statement social change is because it's up and coming and it's not yet like developed to its full potential like youth. Like youth are still growing and so is social change. So that's why I feel like they relate, because it's like they can grow together. So it's like as the youth is growing, their minds are developing and they like creating new ways to like make the community better, you know. So that's kind of why I thought it related to each other, because of like the growing process and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's a really great. That's a really great answer to the question. That's definitely how a really good way for them to relate.
Yeah. So, what do you feel is a big issue for young people on the West Side?
You know, that's definitely a big question. I think that one of the bigger issues for the youth in the West Side is the lack of mental health resources, and unfortunately, just the violence that happens on the West Side are some of the. I'm so sorry. Are some of the things that are impacting the youth of the West Side.
So, what can we do to create more programs in elementary and high schools on the West Side?
You know, I think that, unfortunately, there's when you look at the programmings in the high schools and elementary schools in West Side, they don't have a lot of the other clubs like Key Club or Girl Scouts or History Club, even sports. Though there's some schools that don't even have a sports team.
Yeah.
And I think that in order to create these programs that are important for youth to get involved in the community, to stay off the streets, a lot of it has to do with the youth themselves, right?
Yeah.
You guys have to come together and go to your counselors and go to your principals and say, hey, we really we demand to have these programs, to have these clubs. Like we're here, we have enough people, and we want to form it. It takes a lot of also the youth to be vocal as well.
Right. I feel like sometimes the youth isn't introduced to the power that they have over what they want in school, because at my old elementary school, we didn't have basketball teams, we didn't have music, we didn't have a music class. We only had a technology class where we had to be on computers. So it was nothing natural that we were doing. It was nothing hands-on like art that we were doing, or playing instruments, or playing basketball. They did that stuff at recess, played basketball, but they never had a team to go out and see, just explore, meet new basketball players or meet new people while you're doing this stuff. I feel like, and then when we didn't have that stuff, we never knew that we were in control of what we wanted. We never knew that we could go to the principal and be like, we want this stuff, and we have 100 other students behind us saying that we all want to be in this program, and that these many students are gonna participate in this club. So I feel like a lot of this stuff isn't told to us. Nobody tell us, oh, you can do this if you do this and this and that. They just let us suffer in silence without us knowing what we can do to make it better.
Oh, that's a very good point. And so, for all of the youth watching right now, just you have power. Your voice have power, and once you guys come together as a community, you would be an unstoppable force.
Yeah.
And that's a really good thing to bring up. That there's just this lack of knowledge about the power that the youth have, and I guess we could spiral and go into the question, well, how do we make it known for these youth,
right,
that make it known to them that they have this power?
Exactly.
I mean, what do you think would be the best way for someone in my position as the program director to educate these youth about how much power they have?
I think you really have to just go into schools and have set up something for the principal to have a meeting with the school, because it was something going on downtown, and the police officer set up where our entire school had to go in our auditorium area, and they spoke to all the kids, and all the kids had questions, and they was like, oh, well, why do we have to do that? Or they were just voicing their opinions about stuff, and the officer was letting us know what we could do to make it better. So I feel like you have to do stuff like that or you have to just find students who are interested in it. Like, I honestly cannot say what exactly you could do to make kids interested in something, because I'm just like me. I'm gonna be interested in this stuff regardless. So it's like I can't put myself in the mindset of somebody who's not interested, because then if I'm not interested, I'm not gonna, like, nothing's gonna make me interested in that, because it's just like I'm stuck in my way. Like, I don't really want to do it unless somebody come up to me and try to teach me about it, and I'm not stubborn about it, and I'm actually open to learn. So that's why it really depends on the mentality or in the mindset of the child or the person of youth. Like, am I really passionate about learning about this stuff? Do I feel like my input on the situation is gonna matter to the point where it's gonna, like, change a whole community from, like, years and years of, like, persistent, like, actions and all this negativity going on? So it really just depends on their mindset and if they feel like they want to learn it, because if they don't want to learn it, they just not. So you really just have to find the youth that are interested in it, because forcing somebody to do something is never gonna work.
No, especially not with the youngins. It's definitely not gonna work.
Yeah, they not gonna go for, like, people trying to make them do something that they don't want to do, because then they're gonna rebel against you.
Yeah.
When you try to make them do something that they don't want to do. So I can't really put myself in those shoes, because if somebody tell me about something like this, I'm gonna automatically want to do it.
Yeah.
So I don't really know how you would make somebody who's not interested do it, because I'm just not there, you know?
Yeah. No, I definitely understand. Thank you.
So what can we do to get young people more involved in the community?
You know, that's a really good question. And kind of just piggybacking off of just what you just said, you know, you can't, if someone doesn't want to do something, they're not going to do it, right? But I think that, we got to make stuff fun for kids. We got to, bring in, I guess, I'm not familiar with TikTok, but just bring in, TikTok. We can always do different educational TikTok challenges, or social media challenges to get kids involved. But me, as a young adult yourself, what motivates you to get involved with the community?
Basically seeing how it affected people in the past, and seeing how those cycles created people and their goals for today. So seeing how, when they were in the same shoes that we were in when we were younger, they had no programs. So they had nothing to look forward to, so all they did was stay at home. And then they tried to rely on the streets to give them something. So then their goal was to sell I'm gonna sell more drugs than this person, and I'm gonna be in charge of everybody. So their goals were different. That's what motivates me, because it's like we have to create more. We have to create create opportunities that's gonna just shed all this creativity from the youth, that's gonna make them have higher goals. Because since they didn't have this stuff back then, they had different goals. Their goal was to be the biggest drug dealer, or be on the streets, or just stuff like that. So seeing how that affected them, I just don't want my generation to end up like that. And I want them to have more opportunities than they did before, because then that's just one step closer to us being getting out of this cycle of all this negativity and everything going around and around and around. It's like we never go outside the circle. We just follow it,
right,
instead of branching off and going somewhere else to try to change it.
Right.
So that's what I feel like. That's what motivates me, and it's just I just hate seeing my community just be something that's like a burden to them, to the point where it's like oh, I can't wait till I can leave. Like, it's like, why do you not want to stay? And why do you not want to raise your kids where you grew up at? It's like, it's sad to see that because it's like they're ashamed of where they grew up. To the point where they want to leave and raise their kids somewhere else that they feel like is better. Why not make that place a better place to raise your kids in so that they can see where you grew up and you ride past different places and be like, oh, I used to grow up right there, or I used to sit right there, or me and my friends used to be over there, just to get your kids a feel of how it was when you were younger. Instead of trying to pull them away and trying to like go to another community and make that community better, or put more positivity into that community than putting it into yours.
Right, absolutely.
So, what are some social problems that teens are going through in the community?
What are some social problems that teens are going through in the community? And I would say one, social problem, and it's something that we've touched on earlier. I mean, there's a couple, just lack of programming, right? Just lack of activities, especially after school activities, to get these kids, more involved in the community, make them love their community more in order and make them want to change. I believe that there needs to be more mental health facilities in West Garfield Park to tackle a lot of the trauma that that kids face as well.
Yeah. So, do you know of any resources or activities that are available to address social change for young people?
Yes, I mean, Fathers Who Care right now, we do offer a few different after-school programs for kids. We have an internship program, so we will match you with different corporations like Walmart, for example, and we will pay you $125, to work there a couple of hours every week. It's a 6-week program, and then after that 6 weeks, hopefully we can match you, with a part-time job, that's one of the programs, that we offer at Fathers Who Care, and right now we are accepting participants, we're also not the only nonprofit in West Garfield Park, right? So there's a lot of organizations that are offering various activities and programs that really will help kids develop important technical skill sets as well.
Yeah, I agree. Also, I want to talk about the Thanksgiving celebration and food drive that will be sponsored by Fathers Who Care. The food drive is taking place until November 14th, and the drop-off location is at Michelle Clark High School. That address is 5101 West Harrison. Again, that address is 5101 West Harrison, and they are accepting turkeys, hams, canned goods, fruit, vegetables, juice, water, pop, everything everything is going to the community. They're going to give it out to anybody who needs it. And then the event date is going to be November 19th, and that is going to be the Thanksgiving celebration, where there is going to be food that is going to be cooked as well, and then it's going to be stuff that they're going to be giving away. And it's going to be from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. For more information about that event, you can contact us at 773-287-5821 or email us at Westside Community Stakeholders, stake as in STAKE, holders@gmail.com. And we also have a community engagement program that is going on November 2022. Every Thursday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. It is a Zoom meeting, and the meeting ID is 430-535-7213. Again, that meeting ID is 430-535-7213. And we talk about the various situations going on in the community, like mental health and substance abuse that's going on in the community. We talk about physical health. We talk about positivity, even if it's not bad mental health. There's a such thing as good mental health, and we talk about stuff like that too. And we just talk about all type of things. Even we even get introduced to new topics, and we talk about that stuff too. If you feel like that's something that you are interested in talking about. Okay. The last question: if someone is watching and is in need of immediate intervention and or your support, how can they reach you?
You guys can reach me at my email, which is Janisa. That's Jan, N as in Nancy, ISAH .fwc@gmail.com. Or you can also reach me at any of my social media handles, janisa.rose.
Okay.
I am available on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay. If you are just tuning in, our guest tonight on the show is Janisa Hicks, and we are discussing youth and the community for social change. We would like to thank our viewers for watching. For additional information about our youth council, please contact us at 773-287-5821. Again, that number is 773-287-5821, and ask for Miss Princess. Thank you, and tune in next week, same time, same station.